Good afternoon to all those who have joined. Just for a confirmation, is my voice reaching to you people or not? And is a slide visible to you or not? Okay, thank you, Sushmita. Thank you, Pavel. So we will quickly, yes, thank you, Nandini. We will quickly start the class without wasting much time. In this session, we were discussing about what are the literals that are available in our Oracle SQL. And we came to know that whatever literals are kept in single quotes, those characters which are kept in single quotes will become the character literals. And the numerical values will be the integral literals. And if we have got a lengthy text kept in single quotes, that will also become a literal. So I kept few examples of the literals that are there for text literals and for some for the integral literals. They are very simple. Whatever is kept in the single quotes will become a character literal or text literal. And whatever numbers are there, whether with plus or minus or whatever numerical figure values are there, they will be considered as integral literals. Okay. So coming next, we have got data types to be discussed. In case of Oracle, we have got various data types, and these data types have been categorized on what type of data are they going to take. Okay. What is exactly a data type? Data type tells the compiler for the given variable what type of value can be associated with it, what type of operations can be performed on that particular variable. What does data type tell? It tells on the given variable which is being declared with that data type, what type of values can be assigned to it and what type of operations can be performed onto that particular variable. So data type is very critical. If you specify a wrong data type, your program may not function properly. Okay, since the variable is not going to hold the data appropriately, it will not work properly. So we need to understand data types basically. There are various data types pertaining to based on the characters, pertaining to numerical values, pertaining to date, pertaining to large objects, and with regard to row IDs. We will be seeing one after them, one after the other. First, let us concentrate on character data. Just give me 1 minute. No? So when it comes for character, we have got these data types coming in picture. The data types that are there for character orientation is first one char. This char will take some numerical value here called as size, telling how many characters should be there in that particular variables. Suppose if I say char of 3, then I am telling that the variable x, y, z, whatever it is going to contain any word or something with a limitation that it can contain only maximum 3 characters. So I can assign to it ABC or XYZ or some WX, something like that. But I cannot assign more than 3 characters. Like for example, ABCD cannot be assigned to that variable X. Okay. And one more point is that whenever you are trying to assign a character value to a particular variable, you have to keep that character value in single quotes. This is a mandatory thing in our SQL, Oracle SQL. Fine. So what is char data type? It is going to tell the compiler that the variable declared with the help of this data type is going to contain character values. And this size will signify how many characters will be there in that particular variable. But to a maximum limit, how many bytes can be stored? 2 kilobytes, 2000 bytes can be stored. Okay, one character will occupy around 2 bytes of memory. So you need to be peculiar about your size also. Now in varchar2, here in this characters, we will be able to store characters. Character in the sense it may be single character or numerical values. Okay, but if I want to have single character as well as numerical value, again I am telling in case of character we can store either the characters or the numerical values. Okay, but in case if I want to store characters as well as numerical values, for example I want to store A123, can I store it into character A123? No, because char says either you specify the characters or you specify the numerical values. Even if you try to store the characters, it will get converted into its corresponding ASCII value and get stored into char data type variable. Is it clear? When we want to have a mixture of the characters, alphabets and numerical values, then we will be using a data type called as varchar. We'll be using a data type called as varchar. And varchar, initially when it was created, it was having some limitations. It was not having some maximum to be stored like the type of limitation was there. Varchar 2 is the second version of the varchar. Varchar 2 is the second version of the varchar, and this says we can store a maximum of 4000 bytes, 4 KB of data in that particular variable in case of SQL. And when it comes for PLSQL, which is programming language included in SQL, it's a separate component. In this particular PLSQL, it can range to 32 kilobytes. How much? 32 kilobytes. So you can imagine how much data can be stored inside one variable of varchar2 nature. Clear? So you need to be very cautious when you are using multiple variables. Do not declare lots of variables unnecessarily. Your program size will get increased. So you need to be very cautious with that regard. Okay? But both the varchar and the char are going to store the data in terms of bytes. In terms of bytes. Do remember when we are storing the data, these data are pertaining to specific language. For example, usually we will use English language, right, for our programming. But what if a Japanese language is to be used for the programming? For example, in China, they will be writing the program code not in English keywords. They will be writing the program using their own language. So if the national level language is to be incorporated, then we need to go with a unicharacter, uniformed character or unicharacter, Unicode character set. To represent the unicharacter set, Unicode character set, we have got nationalized characters, nationalized char data type, nationalized varchar2 data type. Understood these two parts? Now going further, we have got one more data type which takes a variable length of string of characters, and this size may range up to 2 GB of data. So one variable may hold 2 GB of data inside it. For example, you may think of your movie file or something like that. 2 GB of data can be accommodated into one single variable if it is declared with a data type called as long. Similarly, we have got one more called as raw, but it will store not in terms of characters, it will store in terms of binary strings, ones and zeros. Okay. Do remember raw is going to have 2 GB of data. Long will have 2 GB of data. Raw will have 2 KB of data. 2 KB of data, and that too in binary string, not in characters. Now, long raw is a mixture of the binary and the long, raw and the long. So we are able to store variable binary strings, variable length binary strings up to a size of 2 GB. Clear? So these are with regard to character data types. So with regard to character data types, the main data types that we will be using is char with some specified number of characters mentioned up, and varchar2 of some specified size of characters mentioned up. If needed, we will use long. We can use raw if we are using the binary calculations, or if the variables are having very big amount of binary information, then we can use long raw. So coming next for numerical data types, Oracle supports these different data types which I have mentioned here, out of which few are not supported by Oracle. And I am telling few are not supported by Oracle. Why I am saying few are not supported by Oracle, then why I have written them is, do remember SQL is standard query language. Is standard query language. Neha, we will be using 10G. Though 11G and 12C and 18C are also there in the market, but 10G is enough for us. Oracle 10G Express Edition. So coming for numerical data types, as I said, SQL is a standard query language. What happened is each and every company came up with their own data types being mentioned. One company said my data type name is number, P, S. Another said, okay, for numerical, I'll use numeric as the data type name. One said, no, I will use float as the data type name. Another said, no, I will use decimal, DEC as the data type name. Another said decimal. So this became a confusion for the SQL developers, SQL command writers. So what SQL people did is they came together. Earlier it was called as sequential query language, which was given by different companies. So all of them, they came together, all the developers, they came onto one single platform and said that, okay, if your company is going to give a product tomorrow, then they should have these data types being supported. They should not create one new data type, one new trouble for us. So by that, these data types were listed for the SQL. And out of them, we have mentioned the ranges. those are the ones which are supported by the Oracle. As a case study for our practical purpose, we will be using Oracle 10G Express Edition, which is a free version for student and for academics. We can use it free of cost. We can install and download and install it free of cost. Okay. So what is the number p comma s? When we say number p comma s, I am telling that I am going to declare the variable with which is going to contain numeric data, and it is going to contain the data which is going to contain p number of digits altogether, p number of digits. Out of the p number of digits, s number of digits are to be there after decimal point. Okay, for example, number 7 comma 2. Out of these, there are totally 7 digits in the whole number, and out of the 7, 2 digits are after decimal point. So before decimal point, there will be 5 digits. 5 plus 2 will become 7, altogether 7. Okay, number 7 comma 2 will be representing 7 digits altogether. Out of these 7 digits, 2 digits are after decimal point. Okay, so before decimal point, 5 digits. So whether you use number or numeric, both the data types are same. There is no much difference among them. Okay, float is not supported by Oracle. It is supported by Microsoft SQL, MS SQL. Decimal, DEC and decimal are also similar to number and numeric. There is no difference. Practically, there is not much difference, and there is no practical difference between them for us. Integer is another data type supported by Microsoft, just to give a backward compatibility to the programming. Int is also there, small int is there, real is there, double precision is there. All these data types are supported by various other RDBMS softwares. So irrespective of that, if you remember few of them, it's enough. And one of the things which we'll be using in our programming is number. If you remember this data type, it's enough. Okay. So coming next for date representation, we have got one data type called as date, which is going to contain date between January 1st, something in BC, and then on to 31st January, 31st December. You can imagine all lines. This is just 2021. It is 9,999 years. So this much big value is going to be contained. This range of value can be there in the date. Okay, this is a data type actually. So if you want to store some date inside a variable, then you have to declare it with the data type called as date. Now, not just date, you want some timestamp should also be there. Fractions of seconds should also be mentioned up with precisions. Then you have got timestamp with time zone. Time zone in the sense in India, one timing will be going on. In USA, one timing will be there. In Saudi Arabia, another time will be going on. So if you want to mention all those different timings, then you have to mention the time zone gap between them. For example, time gap between India and Saudi Arabia is around +3. In Saudi Arabia, they will be little behind. In India, we will be little advanced. Okay. So like that, if you want to mention any timestamp, then you can mention it with, if you need time zone, you can mention that particular time zone. And if you want to have international time zone, that's a different matter. If you want to have a local time zone, that's a different matter. And if you want to calculate the interval between the years, then you have got the separate data type called as interval year, which will give you interval year to month, that gap. Okay. Interval day to seconds. If you want to calculate that particular gap in between, then in seconds, if you want to have, then you can go with that particular part also. But out of all of them, we prefer to use date and to a maximum limit timestamp. If you remember these two, it's enough. Then we have got these large objects to be represented up. Large objects are those which are beyond 2 GB of size. Beyond 2 GB of size, I'm telling. So if I have got any file with 4 GB at least, or more than 4 GB, then I have to declare that particular object to be stored inside a variable, and that variable should be declared as large object data types. And few of the large object data types have been listed here. One out of it is B file. This B file will store up to a maximum of 4 GB of data. Okay, and it is usually referred to represent the binary files on the servers, specifically those servers which are present outside of our network. Okay, so one is binary file, which is going to contain data up to a maximum size of 4 GB. Another is binary large object files. These are again very similar to big files, and they are going to store around 4 GB of data, but they need not use file system. They need not store the data in terms of files. They will store the data in terms of variables, and they will be unstructured. They will be unstructured binary large objects. If you want to store the data, large object data, but not in binary, in terms of characters, then you will use CLOB, not BLOB, CLOB. Okay, stores single byte and multi-byte character data, but up to a what limit? 4 GB of this. Then we have got NCLOB, which is going to store up to 4 GB of data again, but this is nationalized characters. So again, Unicode data will be used here. Then we have got a specific number which will represent each and every row in a table. Each and every row in a table is identified with a primary key, right? But Oracle doesn't depend on us to specify the primary key. For example, while creating the first table, we did not create a primary key. So if the primary key is not there, is it that the Oracle will not identify each row separately? No, Oracle has got its own variable called as row identifier, and for row identifier, it is used to identify each and every row specifically individually. Just like in MS Excel, if you open the Excel, on the left part, for each and every row there will be a number, right? By default, it will be there. But apart from that, we will also include a serial number for our sake. Same way, we will include primary key for our own understandings, but Oracle has its own row identifier. To denote that row identifier, we have got a data type called as row ID. We have got a data type called as row ID. It contains fixed length binary data. What is this binary data going to contain? It will be there in the form of BRF. This BRF will signify B.R.F. B signifies over here the block in the database. R signifies the row number in that particular block, and F signifies the file which is being used to hold the database. Is it clear? So if we have got universal row identifier, just like Unicode, then we have got UROID. UROID with some size that we want to specify. Okay, so these are the data types that we have discussed. Let us quickly recap back so that we can go through remaining parts easily. We have got first set as character data types, second as numeric data types, third as date data types, fourth as large object data types, and fifth as row identifiers. Okay, so in case of characters, we'll mainly concentrate on character data type, char data type with its size, vector data type with its size, and their versions of nationalized characters can also be used. Similarly, we have got long, raw, and long raw. In case of numeric, we have got number, numeric, float, decimal, decimal complete, integral, int, small int, real, all those things. In case of date, we have got date, timestamp with time zone. We have got local time zone to be included, intervals, and all those aspects. In case of large objects, B files, BLOB, CLOB, and NCLOB. So you need to memorize these names of the data types along with what maximum size they are going to contain and what are their explanations. These are important things. You need to memorize them. So comments we have already seen in the morning session, so I am not going with the comments part. Coming on for pseudo columns. Pseudo column in Oracle is a column which is automatically created by the Oracle, but its values are not stored permanently. They are temporary columns. They are actually tables composed of one single column. Okay. So, for example, I want to have one column as sysdate. Oracle has it internally, sysdate. This date will contain the current date and time of our system. For example, if I want to quickly go for what is the current date and time on this system, I just want to refer back. I need not go for escape button, closing of the PPT, and then go for that particular thing. Suppose I am using my SQL prompt. I need not shift from my SQL prompt onto my calendar and then had a look onto system date. I'll just type select sysdate, comma sys timestamp from dual. So it will give me that particular value. It's limited to only decimal. It's Pavan, it's limited to only decimal mark. But in case of high-end softwares, like for example, here we'll be using Express Edition. If you are using Professional Edition or Ultimate Edition, then in that case, you will have those data types also. Okay, but they are rarely used. So coming back again, if I want to get to know what is the current system date and time, I need not create a new table and then ask the Oracle to insert the value of date and time into that particular table in that particular column, and then ask me, try to apply a select statement and then retrieve the value. I will just specify to the Oracle, select sysdate, comma sys timestamp from dual, and it will retrieve what is the system date automatically and system timestamp, and it will give back the result back to me. Now, what is this dual? This is the temporary table that I was talking about. This is the temporary table with one single column, and that column will be dynamically created for whatever we have mentioned. It may be one single column, or if we wish two or three things, those two or three things will be attached to it and those values will be given. Pavan, there is a few more comments. In that case, any special syntax used, like in C language for octal, we use O, hexadecimal OX. No, ma, I don't have the knowledge about it. Openly speaking, I don't have knowledge about it. I have not gone through it. Okay. So, one of the pseudo columns is sysdate. Like sysdate, we have got sys timestamp. Few more are like, for example, row ID. If you want to get to know what is the row ID used by the Oracle, you can use it. Same procedure, select row ID from dual. You will get a row ID. But here you need not even, for row ID, you may use a particular table also. Those values will be given back for you. What is the ID for that particular table? Row number returns the number indicating the order in which the rows was selected from the table. Okay. User ID. User, what is the name of the user? What is the ID representing the user? Just like PIN number and name of the student. Then what is the level at present moment? What is the level of abstraction or level of viewing? What is the current value held by a particular cursor? What is the next value within the cursor or the sequence? For example, sequence.curval, it will return the current value held by the sequence. Do you remember in the morning session we were discussing that sequences are automatically generated numbers. They are objects which generate automatic numbers for us. So what is the current value which is being held by that particular number, by that sequence object? What will be the next value? If I want to get to know about those things, then I can use them. For example, for employee sequences, if I want to insert a new employee details, then I will say employee number dot sequence. This is a object which is which was used like account numbers. And when I use next val, it will give me the next value which is to be used for the employee, new employee, and I'll be able to enter whatever name I want to give for that particular employee and so forth, whatever details I want to enter. What is insert command we'll be learning later on. Don't worry. It's just a command similar to that of select. Select will retrieve the data from the database. Insert will insert the data back into the database. We have got Aura also. There are many pseudo columns, and few of them which you need to memorize are sysdate, systimestamp, row ID, row number, user ID, username, or user, just simple, current val, next val. If you remember these, then you will be able to write in your exam neatly. Okay. So comment section again, I have put few more things just to make sure that you are able to write in exam properly. Now, our main target is going to start from here. Oracle SQL functions. SQL provides many built-in functions to perform operations on data. These built-in functions are so helpful for us that we can perform any type of calculations on it, whether with regard to the mathematical calculations or with regard to attachment of one string to another string, concatenations, or generating new strings from a given string called as substring generations. All those aspects we can do. Okay, so this session is going to expand within 5 minutes, I think so. We'll just quickly have a look on how many types of Oracle functions are there, predefined functions, and then we'll be jumping back into the next session. Okay, the next session will start at 3 o'clock. Do join there. We'll be discussing a lot of issues there. Dual is the temporary table which is used for pseudo columns. Pseudo columns are those columns which will be automatically generated by the Oracle itself whenever we are trying to get to know some fixed things which Oracle engine can automatically calculate. For example, to calculate system date, I need not write another program. System date is already known to my system. It will be there stored in the system itself. So I need not create one table and then check what is the system date, insert it into the table, and then try to update it time and again. This date is automatically done. Okay. Neha, my voice is too low. Yes, it may happen due to some internet issue or something like that. But sys date, no, it's okay. Hope I have cleared your problem. Your doubt is cleared now, Neha? Okay, thank you. So Oracle functions, we have got various functions, predefined functions given in the Oracle for SQL operations. And these functions are basically categorized into two types. One is single row functions, also called as scalar functions. Single row functions, also called as scalar functions. These are going to work on row basis, row by row basis. Okay. There are another category of functions called as group functions or aggregate functions. Group functions or aggregate functions. These are going to work on a bunch of rows and they will be performing some target onto it. We'll see in detail what are those functions. Okay. Single row functions returns a value for every row that is processed in the query. Whereas group functions will work on or calculate some aggregation functions onto a bunch of rows. Okay. and whatever value is being calculated from bunch of rows, that value will be returned back. So in the next session, coming on session, we'll discuss about the 4 different types of single row functions. We'll try to also discuss about some examples for each and every function specifically. Then we'll be also seeing in detail about group functions. So most probably in the next session, we'll be able to finish with the functions concept with examples of each of it. Okay. Then format models we'll see in the next coming on session tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Hope to see you back all at 3 o'clock. Till then, is there any doubt? Shall we take a small break and rejoin back at 3 o'clock? While using date function, what happens if the date in this system is wrong? Will it show error? No. Akhil, your computer is a dummy box, stupid box. Even if it is a wrong date in your system, it will show the wrong date to you. It doesn't have any intelligence with it. We human beings have been created by our creator, which has lots of intelligence. We don't have that intelligence. We created this stupid box, right? There is a difference between our creator and us.